Winning Blueprint presents
in the lab room.
All right, another great question by another viewer of the channel, this time by Casey Tyler. He asked me a question. He watched a episode of Total Access on the NFL Network, and he said they had a discussion about who was better, Cam Newton or Russell Wilson, and he decided to ask me, hey, which one of the two quarterbacks do you think is better? Which one would you rather have as your quarterback? And there's a lot of different things I look at when I look at quarterbacks and why I would want them to be the face of my franchise and the guy that I turn to under the center. And so I said, this is a great question. It was too long for me to answer in typing format, so I decided to give him a quick video response. I made a little board to show you how I would dissect this. It's the tail of the tape. Our two combatants. In one corner, dangerous Russell Wilson. In the other corner, Cam. Oh, Cam. Cam, jam for me now. I know it's Cam. I know it's Cam. Oh, damn. I know it's Cam. I know it's Cam. Cam Newton. Yeah. Super Cam. So, this is the tail of the tape. These are all the categories I think matter for me. And everyone has their own opinion. But for me, for my money, these are the things I look at. We're going to go down this list one by one, check off the person that I think really exemplifies what I'm looking for between the two players. And then I'm going to give you my opinion on who I think is the better of the two quarterbacks right now. This is subject to change, however. Right now, everything is very fluid. These guys are relatively young in their careers. Russell Wilson in his second year, and now Cam going into his third, so everything is very fluid. So I could be singing a different tune at the end of the 2013 season, but this is the way I feel right now. So we start with measurables, and this one really isn't up for debate. We know what Russell Wilson brings to the table. We know all of the chatter for him coming into the draft was his height. It's always been an issue. There's nothing he can do about it. He's 5'10", has an adequate arm. It isn't the best, but it isn't a pop gun arm either. He doesn't have a water gun over there. He can throw it. He can fling it with the best of them. But 6'5", 240, runs like a gazelle, built like a stallion. This one easily in favor of Cam. Oh, Cam. Cam, jam for me now. So measurables goes to Super Cam. So you go on to intangibles. You look at Cam Newton and some of the things you were worried about him when he was drafted started to rear its ugly head. This was never more evident than that Thursday night matchup versus the Giants. Early in the season, they were decimated and destroyed by the Giants on Thursday Night Football on national television. And Cam Newton was hanging his head, had the towel over his head. Steve Smith tried to talk to him. He didn't want to talk. He didn't want to talk to the offensive coordinator. He was out of it. You can't do that as the leader of your football team. When they started losing games, Cam did everything but point the finger. He fell short of pointing the finger, but trust me, he wanted to. And you can't do that as a leader. He'll learn how to be a leader, I think. He'll learn how to be a leader, but right now, dangerous. Russell Wilson was born a leader. He understands what it takes to lead men to victory. He was born to be a quarterback. He was born to lead guys to victory. He does everything right. He says everything correct. He knows exactly what buttons to push, when to push them. This one, much like the measurables, isn't up for debate. The intangibles, the moxie, the poise, the confidence, the leadership, all of that goes to Russell Wilson. It's not even close. Dangerous gets the X here. Go Hawks. So you put the X there for Russell Wilson. Dangerous. And we go to arm. You don't have to have a top-notch arm to get it done in the National Football League. We saw guys like Chad Pennington soft toss it for years and get it done. He took the Miami Dolphins to a division title. He took the Jets to the postseason with that soft toss. But you got to be able to fling it. You got to be able to throw it outside the numbers. You got to be able to throw those deep outs. You got to be able to throw that 15-yard dig route and stick it in there. You got to be able to push the ball up the field. Now, I talked about Russell Wilson's arm. It's really good, and he can fling it with the best of them. But Cam Newton might have the strongest arm in the league. He's got one of them. And everybody talks about Joe Flacco. And I think Colin Kaepernick needs to be in that discussion now as well. That guy can fling it. But Cam Newton is one of those guys that off of 1 foot can throw it with the flick of his wrist 70 yards down the field. I think this one has to go to Cam. Oh, Cam. Super Cam. X for Cam Newton here. So now we go to the next thing. Accuracy. This, to me, means more than arm strength. Because you can have a cannon for an arm. But if you can't throw it to a receiver 12 yards down the field, accurate, and give him a chance to catch it and then make a play after he catches the football, if he has to go out of his way, jump, leave his feet to catch the football when he's wide open and stop the momentum of going up the field and potentially turning a 12-yard reception into a 40-yard reception because you didn't throw it in the right spot to give him a chance to make a play after the catch, that's a problem. So accuracy probably is more so bigger than just arm strength. It's great if you have both, but I prefer to have a guy that can accurately throw the football than a guy that's just going to throw it all over the place and as hard as he can. Give me the guy that's accurate. Cam was a 60%er in his rookie season. He was throwing it at a 60% clip. That dipped to 57% in his second campaign. So teams made adjustments. Things didn't come as easy to him as it did in his rookie campaign. Meanwhile, you look at Russell Wilson. He's accurate by trade, by nature. It's innate. He's an accurate passer. He's a guy that's going to hit the open receiver, give it to him in a position where he can catch it and make plays. Is he always as accurate as you want him to be? No, because he's always running around in the backfield, and sometimes he doesn't get enough on passes, or sometimes he doesn't throw it as accurate as you want. But Russell Wilson is the more accurate passer here between the two quarterbacks. So this one goes to dangerous Russell Wilson. Go Hawks. So we put another X over here for Russell Wilson. And now we move on to mobility, pocket awareness. And for me, you can be mobile, but I more so care about your pocket awareness. I don't want the guy that runs the 4.5 40, but isn't looking down the field to make plays. You can run as fast as you like, but I want you throwing the football first. So I need the pocket awareness to be at an all-time high. I need you to be in the pocket, know that there's garbage and trash around you, still focused down the field. And being able to reshuffle the feet and have that phone booth mobility is just as important as being able to scramble for 8 yards on 3rd and 7 and pick up that first down. You got to be able to get away from that garbage, reshuffle the feet, and throw a dart. Guys coming right at you, move out of the way, or pocket is collapsing around you, step up, make the play. So pocket awareness, knowing where the rush is coming from, feeling it. You've got guys that are standing there holding the football. They don't feel the guy coming around swiping at the football. Fumble. He doesn't hit him. He just swipes at the football as he goes past. Fumble. I need that pocket awareness. I need you to know there's a guy coming around that corner. I need you to step up. Allow your tackle to work for you. For Cam Newton, sometimes, if his first and second options aren't there, he can get really lackadaisical in that pocket on me. There's times where I'm like, Cam, run, Cam, run, Cam, run, Cam, run, Cam, run. And he's just standing there, standing there, standing there. And then it's too late. He gets sacked. And I understand you want to make that play down the field, but you got to have that clock in your head. And it's got to go off. After a while, that first read is in there. That second read is in there. That third read is in there. Go, 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 go. Don't wait. Go. Sometimes Cam doesn't do that. And I was screaming at him early in the season. Run, Cam, run! Because he wasn't running. It's like he wanted to prove to people that, hey, I'm a black quarterback, but I can throw the football. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. It's that old black quarterback complex. We've seen them all have it. Michael Vick, Donovan McNabb, now Cam Newton. That sense of I have to show them that I can throw. I'm not just a scrambling quarterback. It's not necessary. Run. If it's there, run. Cam, run. I guarantee you, if Tom Brady could run, he'd run. But he can't, so he doesn't. You have a God-given ability to run at the quarterback position. Use it. When he started using it in the second half of the season, guess what? The Panthers won 4 games in a row. Run, Cam. If it's not there, run. Don't force it. Run. Don't wait there. Run. But in Russell Wilson's case, he has that pocket awareness. He has that mobility. He can run. We saw what he did to Buffalo. He carved the Buffalo Bills up with his legs. Absolutely shredded them. And he could do that more often if he wanted to, but he doesn't look to run. He looks to run and scramble to pass. This guy's like Fran Tarkenton, the second coming of Fran Tarkenton. He's in the backfield. He'll run around 7 yards backwards to throw a 14-yard pass forward. So 7 behind the line and 7 forward. 14 yards net, but it's only a 7-yard gain, but Russell Wilson will do that. He'll run backwards 8 yards to complete a 4-yard pass. And that's what he's looking to do. He's looking down the field. He's scrambling to create down the field. He's not looking to run unless he has to. But when he's in the pocket, he's hard to sack because he's moving around. He feels the rush around him. And for that, it's a wash because Russell Wilson, I think, has better pocket awareness. However, you look at mobility, come on now. Is this really a discussion? We know Cam Newton is one of the best scrambling quarterbacks in the National Football League, especially when he gets it revved up. When Cam gets to take 5 or 6 steps and he gets it going full steam ahead down the field, there's not a lot of guys that want to tackle him. There's not a lot of guys that can tackle him. And he's dynamic with the football in his hands once he gets an open field and in space. More so than Russell Wilson is. Russell Wilson can run, he can move, but no one's afraid of Russell Wilson running the football down the field. People are afraid of Cam Newton when 240 pounds gets going up the field. He's a force, especially in the red zone, to get in the end zone. It's a wash here for mobility and pocket awareness. Awareness in the pocket goes to Wilson. Mobility goes to Cam. It's a wash. So that leaves us tied going into the last category. And for me, this is the big one. This is the one that matters the most to me. This is the one that separates the elite, sub-elite, and then the rest of the league. The elite and sub-elite have it. What is it? Don't ask me. I can't tell you exactly what it is. It's not tangible. You can't touch it. Can't smell it. Can't taste it. But you can see it. And you know when that guy has it. So looking at these quarterbacks, and we're going to use the color of the name of the quarterback that is going to tip the scales, so to speak, for this one. It, for me, is that guy that with 1 minute and 47 seconds left, you hand him the football and you say, hey, I need this. We're down 4. We need 87 yards for a touchdown. No timeouts. Can you take the team down the field and get us in the end zone and win the football game? As the coach, I want to look in your eyes and tell you, hey, we need you right now. And that quarterback that has it, he knows what he has to do. He looks right at the coach and says, hey, coach, I got you. Don't worry about it. I got this. And I know Cam. Cam has that swag. He has it. I've seen Cam take his team down the field when they've needed it, when they had to have it. He possesses it. I've also seen Cam in a clutch situation on the road against the Atlanta Falcons. All they need to do is get a first down to put this game away, fumble the football, and end up losing the game for his team. I've seen that. Now, of course, they didn't lose the ball, but they ended up punting. Falcons get the football, drive down, get the game-winning field goal. Panthers lose the game. I've also seen that. Now, you're not going to get it done every single time when you're put in one of these pressure situations. But more times than not, that guy that has it, that fire in his eyes, the ice water in his veins, when it's pressure time, when it's winning time, it shows up. The poise, the moxie, the wherewithal to stand in there and take that shot in the pocket and deliver the football knowing you're about to get blasted on 3rd and 7 on that possession that you know you got to have it. I look at Russell Wilson, and in that game against the Chicago Bears, not once, but twice, Seattle had to have it. There was no tomorrow. If Seattle loses that game, for all intents and purposes, their season isn't going to end up being the way it was. They don't make the postseason. I don't think. That game changed their season. It changed their fate. Russell Wilson showed it. That game against Atlanta in the postseason, in the divisional round, Russell Wilson showed it. Down 20 in the fourth quarter. Down 6 with the football. Last possession. He goes down, takes his team down for the game-winning score. That's it. They should have won that football game. Russell Wilson did everything that he was supposed to do to lead his team to victory. The defense blew it. Russell Wilson has it as well. So, the winner of this match by split decision is dangerous Russell Wilson. Look, I got to see more from Cam Newton. I got to see the mental aspect change. I need to see Cam embrace the fact that he's a leader. And I know he knows what he has to do. Warren Moon is mentoring him. He'll be fine. But he has to understand there's going to be criticism. And guess what? Even when it's not your fault, as the leader of the team, as the quarterback, it's your fault. Embrace the fact that you have to take the blame sometimes for things that you didn't do. Hey, that miscommunication on that interception that cost us the game, my fault. I did that. No, it wasn't your fault. That was the receiver's fault. You know that. The receiver knows that. The media doesn't. And guess what? You go out there and you tell them at that press conference after the game, even though you're pissed, you tell them, hey, that one was on me. We had a miscommunication. I thought he was going here. He went there. Ball went out here. That's on me. I got to make sure we're on the same page. That's what Cam Newton is supposed to say. What he is saying right now is we got to be a better football team. We can't make those mistakes. We're not playing good football. Guys got to step up. No. Eat that one. As the leader, you got to eat that one sometimes. And so I need to see that leadership, those qualities. Hey, we're down by 17. We're in the third quarter. Don't hang your head. Things aren't going right. Pick the team up. Game's not over. Make that comeback. Show that moxie, that poise. Show it. Grit your teeth. Bear down. Show that the will to win is greater than any other force on that football field. Rally the troops. I need to see more of that from Cam Newton, and I think I will eventually in the future. But right now, it belongs to Russell Wilson. So I think that Russell Wilson, for me right now, is the better quarterback because he has more of what you're looking for to lead a franchise right now. He says all the right things. He does all the right things on and off the field. Cam Newton, not a bad guy. He just needs to grasp the fact that, hey, look, I can't give them any fodder. They're looking and waiting for you to slip up, Cam. You can't do it. You can't give them the satisfaction of letting them see you sweat. You can't do it. They want to see you sweat. They want to see you falter. You have to keep cool under pressure. The minute Cam Newton realizes that and realizes that he is the leader, he is the face of the Carolina Panthers franchise, and he realizes what he has to say and what he has to do on the football field, that's my guy. Because you can't deny the measurables. You can't deny everything that Cam Newton brings to the football field. I'll take that over what you get from Russell Wilson. Even though I feel like Russell Wilson has the complete package, you can't teach what Cam Newton has. You can't teach 6'5". You can't teach 6'40". You can't teach 245 pounds. You can't teach what Cam Newton possesses. He's a special breed. There's not another one like him in the National Football League. And so once he gets that mental aspect down, that's my guy right there. But for right now, if you had me start a franchise tomorrow, I'm taking Russell Wilson. Come back to me at the end of 2013, I'll probably tell you my man is Cam. But right now, the guy is Russell Wilson. Casey also asked me another question. What do I think these players and these teams are going to do in 2013? I can't answer that right now because it's too early. I don't give predictions in May, in June. Once I see training camp and I see what teams are doing, then I start to give predictions out. Right now, it's too early. Injuries could happen. I just don't do it. It's too early for me. But I will say this. I expect a sophomore slump from Russell Wilson, Robert Griffin III, and Andrew Luck, much like Cam Newton went through. And it wasn't much of a slump. It was more of a malaise. Situations where it's just different. Teams have more film. They've made adjustments. You have to make the adjustment to the adjustment. And so I expect Russell Wilson to have double-digit interceptions this year because I feel like the Seahawks babysat him for the first half of the season last year. Then they took the reins off, and he started to play better. And they gave him more of the playbook. They allowed him to improvise and do more things. With that, though, comes more turnovers. It didn't happen in his rookie campaign, but I expect it to in 2013. I expect teams to come after him. I expect teams to make him a little bit more uncomfortable. I expect him to make more mistakes. Watch that Rams game in St. Louis. That was a game where Russell Wilson was really flustered. He turned the football over about 3 times in that game. That's what teams are going to try to do to him in 2013. Same thing with Robert Griffin III. Same thing with Andrew Luck. I think they're going to find it a lot harder to succeed in 2013 than in 2012, where teams were kind of caught off guard by what you were able to produce because they didn't have time to really adjust. They had to adjust on the fly. Now, with a whole season worth of film on these guys, they're going to come up with schemes in different ways to try to make these quarterbacks uncomfortable. I'm not saying that the Seahawks are going to be 7-9 and they're not going to make the postseason. But what I am saying is that all the Seahawks fans that I've talked to, 15-1, 14-2, 13-3, I haven't heard a Seahawks fan come at me realistically and say, maybe one. I think there was one guy, I can't remember his name right now, but there was about one fan that came at me realistically and said, hey, I think we're an 11-5 team. And I told him, hey, 11-5 might be good enough to win your division because everyone wants to assume that the 49ers are going to be 12-4, 13-3. The 49ers struggled in that division last year. Seattle beat them. The Rams beat them once and tied them again. Arizona, if not for being just absolutely horrendous, could have beaten the 49ers as well. And so the 49ers are a team that isn't invincible. They're going to lose football games. So I think 5 games could win that division easily. And so I think the Seahawks are more along the lines of 11-5, somewhere in there. But again, I don't make predictions right now. It's hard to say. But it's hard to go 14-2, 13-3 in this league. It's tough to do that. You have to be a really good team with a really good schedule that's favorable to you winning that many games. You got to play some bad teams to win those kind of games. You don't just play the creme de la creme of the National Football League and win 12, 13, 14 games like it's nothing. And so I think that Cam Newton, honestly, in 2013 will have a better season than Russell Wilson. Now, will it translate to wins? Russell Wilson has the better overall team. And for me, Cam Newton and his supporting cast around him, that leads to some of these areas and categories going to Russell Wilson. For example, accuracy. Cam Newton is a very accurate quarterback. I've seen this guy drop the football in a bucket. Okay? When they played the Redskins in his rookie season, he made some throws that my mouth just dropped. It hit the floor. I was like, how did he fit that football in there? It was like he ran up and handed it to him. He breastfed Steve Smith on one pass. I said, wow, you can't defend that kind of passing. So I know Cam Newton has accuracy, but he needs guys to create separation. Steve Smith is the only guy that consistently creates separation. Brandon LaFell and Greg Olsen aren't guys that create separation enough. He has to force it in there. There's not a lot of targets in Carolina right now, so that's a little bit to attribute to him not having great accuracy. But nonetheless, I think Cam Newton's 2013 campaign is going to be better because he went through that sophomore slump or malaise, and he kind of understands now what I have to do, what's going to be asked of me, what I need to do to have this team get over that 6-7 win hump that has really stagnated us over these first 2 years of my career. I think he understands what this team needs of him. He knows, hey, I got to run. When it's there, I got to run. That's what you did at the end of the season. Run. If the pass is there, let it rip. No, not Beyblade. Just let it rip. And so I think Cam Newton, when it's all said and done, will have a better 2013, but Russell Wilson's team might have the better season overall. And again, all of this is subject to change, but right now, Casey, if I had to start my franchise tomorrow, Russell Wilson's my quarterback. But I tell you what, by season's end, I'll probably tell you Cam Newton's my guy. But hope that answered your question. Don't know if you like the answer or not. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you're a Carolina Panthers fan. So don't know if that's the answer you were looking for, but that's my answer. Thanks for the very thoughtful question. Hope that was some help to you, man. Have a good one.